This is from our rainbow project. We just produced this little boy 2 months ago. Super enchy, super disco, hypo, rainbow. I think there might be hurricane in there too. Beautiful little boy. What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here for Muscle Serpents Daily. Today's kind of a little bit of a hodgepodge of videos because I've been filming over the last couple days. It's a very hectic week for me. Pablo's on vacation. Obviously, I have his replacement, Henry's been here doing a great job, but I've been working my hiney off getting up bodybuilding content because we have our Mr. Olympia contest this weekend. I'll be actually leaving for Orlando probably by the time you're watching this video. And I'll be there for Thursday through Sunday and covering the biggest bodybuilding event in the world, the Mr. Olympia contest, which is a super fun weekend. I haven't really gone to it in quite a while. It's nice that it's back in Florida here, so I can drive 2.5 hours and I'm there. So sorry if the videos have been a little sparse this week, but hey, I have 2 jobs basically. So actually I have more than 2 jobs, but for sure I have 2 definitive ones, and that's one to snakes and one is the bodybuilding. And so the bodybuilding is this weekend. When Daytona was the weekend over the summer, the bodybuilding had to take a little backseat to that. So it's all good. I'm going to show you some carpet pythons today that I'm planning on putting together and breeding. You know, I've been working very, very hard, probably for the last 10 years, to try to produce a Moonglow carpet python. First, it was a snow. We produced the snow several years back, and we produced several since then. I think we've actually hit a Moonglow in the past couple of years as well. I have a male that I'll be showing you that potentially could be breeding, and if I do get him to breed my caramel double het Moonglow, we could get some Moonglows or maybe even full moons, which are, a full Moonglow is a caramel, a super caramel. So 2 copies of caramel gene, 2 copies of albino gene, and 2 copies of axanthic gene. So it's a caramel, super caramel, albino axanthic. That's known as a Moonglow in carpet pythons. And that's the whitest carpet python you could possibly make. There are no black-eyed or blue-eyed leucistics that we know of in carpet pythons, although they say a super jag is a leucistic, but it's not viable and they die. So this is as good as it's gonna get. So I've been working very, very hard to try to be the first person in the United States here to produce a Moonglow carpet, well, maybe a full Moonglow carpet. I think I might be the first guy to produce the Moonglow if this male proves out. So it's exciting because it's a very long-term project, because carpets do not breed quickly like ball pythons. They gotta get up to size. A lot of times the females could take 4 to 5 years. The males could take, 3 years to get up to size. So you have to be really, really patient. And once again, I put them in the rack, I forget about them, and that's how it goes. So without further ado, let's go into the snake room and take a look. Wow, Katie, my neighbor's got a lot of chickens here. Are ya? You guys gonna go looking for eggs?
Oh, yeah.
Look, they're eating.
They're eating.
Look at them eating the food.
Watch that guy.
That's a rooster?
Yeah. They're usually really good, but sometimes
The peacocks are here too.
Yeah, the peacocks. That's why I have to feed them so much, because they chase them off.
Oop.
Yeah. Okay, let's open it up.
Wow, look at that. She's got a little assortment of different types too here. I like it.
Well, the nice thing is they use this so any hawks or eagles come, and they go in there.
Oh, they hide. That's good. So you don't put them in at night?
Oh yeah, they go in automatically when the door's closed. All right.
There's 4 eggs in that one.
Oh, one
Let's
escaped.
There's 8. Oh my God! There's like
All right, get them.
a
I think we need a bucket. Don't you think so?
yes. There's 8 over here.
Put them in my shirt.
Holy, that's a lot of eggs right there.
Put it right here.
Is there any chickens
Don't
in
drop
there?
them.
I'll get these.
My water monitor's gonna love these eggs.
Let me-
They're delicious.
Hey!
Perfect size too.
Back away.
For eats.
Look at that little cute chicken. Yeah, he's got the big feet. He's like a midget. He's like a midget, like chicken. Look at that guy.
Have you pulled
Yeah, he doesn't even look like he's got wings.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Annie Hall. A beautiful green anaconda. Look how thick she's getting. I get so excited every time I see her. And the funny thing is, you know, anacondas, and I've said this before, they grow. You don't have to feed them a ridiculous amount of food. You just have to feed them. And they will grow. You know, you just got to be patient. Obviously, they're not going to grow as fast as if you fed them huge prey items. But she's at a point now where I could probably start feeding her much bigger prey items, and she would grow at a much faster rate if I wanted to. I would think about it if I had the idea of putting together like an enclosure for her. Right now, she's fine in this cage, you know, because she's not that big, but you know, she could easily outgrow this cage. And these are pretty much the biggest cages I have, aside from the enclosure I use for my 2 Super Fire Diamond boas. I mean, she can go in there, I guess, but I'd like to put her in like a 6 foot by 6 foot. Like, in other words, the whole blueprint of this, or footprint of this rack. So from the top across, you know, these 4 racks would be one big cage for her. I think that would be amazing. And maybe even a water feature, although if you put a water feature in there, you gotta clean it out, and you know, obviously that could be kind of nasty. Just because she's gonna poop a lot in it. No, she's a sweetheart. And she's got some great coloration, as you can see. Putting on some nice size. I'll show you the next time we feed her. When Pablo gets back, we'll give her a nice big rabbit. We'll see what we'll see how big of a rabbit she can take down. That's a nice little lock right there. 100%. I showed you these the other day, and they're still locked. Just goes to show you that there's no time frame. These guys have probably been locked on and off for the last week every time I open it up, and that's a strong lock right there. And that just means that there's a very high likelihood you're going to get some viable eggs. So I've also seen instances where I never saw a lock, and we got great clutches of eggs. So you never know. Sometimes they breed for hours and hours. Sometimes they breed for 5 minutes and you never catch it. So don't get all discouraged if you don't see this. Little update on the super micro scale, which is a scaleless animal. Banana clown. This is our scaleless, essentially, banana clown. You know I love banana clowns, and I certainly like this scaleless banana clown. This is the super micro scale line, and you can see there's a little bit of a stuck shed there. We'll just kind of rip that off, cut that off. And she's tiny. She's really tiny, so, but she's been eating. So she was in a little runty egg. We call it a booby egg. It was probably, it was so small that the area where the actual snake could actually grow and you know, develop. I'm shocked she came out, but that's sometimes the way it works. So beautiful little girl. I think she's a female. I don't think I've even sexed her yet. Beautiful little snake, whatever it is. She will definitely be remaining here as a, even if I never breed her, as a mascot of the Palumbo's Pythons and Boas facility. As far as I know, she's a world's first, and she's really beautiful. Probably one of the nicest scaleless ball pythons I've seen. I'm always showing you this little baby. This female is like, so I just like her. I don't know why. I just do. First of all, I love panda pieds. You know that, super black pastel pieds. This is a super black pastel banana pied. You know, we talked about how much I like banana gene. This is, we call it purple panda pied, and I've been growing her up now for a little over a year. She was born here, produced her. Beautiful, beautiful animal. Like I said, probably at some point I'll probably breed her, but not really priority. More so a kind of like when people come over, let me show you a cool snake. And that's it. I mean, when she was born, she was a little more purple, but I think she's going to shed now. And the only thing that would make this snake a little better would be if it had a little bit more purple in it. So it's a very high white, but that's usually the case with the panda pieds. It's hard to get them with a lot of pattern in them. So we got to get like Enchi into this somehow. But I think, well, the Enchi is like alleelic to black pastel, so you can't even do that. And we just got to get more pattern into these. Beautiful. Yeah, since we're looking at cool stuff, might as well take a look at this girl too. But this is a boy actually. This is from our rainbow project. We just produced this little boy 2 months ago. Super enchy, super disco, hypo, rainbow. I think there might be hurricane in there too. Beautiful little boy. Ain't going nowhere. No, he's staying here, this guy. Very, very interesting. You know, the thing I'm really looking to see if he is super disco, that would make him very unique. So I have to keep him for that very reason. I have produced a lot of rainbows, but this one's really nice. It looks a lot different than the other ones I produced, and I think it's because I think we hit super disco on this one too. So we'll keep an eye on it as it develops. I'll keep updating you because it's something that I like. All right, a little update on my corn snake here. This is a blood red, and you can see pattern on this because it's a juvenile. Once it gets older, it's just going to be completely solid red. And then it's also known as pied-sided. So you've seen pieds in ball pythons and berms and even boas now. And the white is usually on the top, it's on the bottom, it's all over. And with these corn snakes, they call them pied-sided because it's on the sides and it kind of creeps up a little higher along the side of the body. As you can see, my female I have in the other room has got less white than this does. And what we want to do is we want to breed for more white. So if we can get more and more white into it, eventually, hopefully that white will creep up to maybe the top of the animal and we'll see more of a pied, like in the light of like a ball python. I think ball python pieds are the nicest pieds probably out there. The berms are pretty nice too, but I think the ball pythons have the best balance of, you know, pattern and white. But I think this future to see our blood red panda pied would be really cool. All right, I've been always showing you locks and breeding, you know, behavior. Here are two snakes that I'm really dying to get to breed. This is my ultraviolet, which is my enchy super hurricane hypo rainbow male that I have in with my, let's see if we can get this girl who just shed. This is my hypo pied, so she's hypo and pied, double recessive, and she just started really putting some good size back on. I'd love to get these guys to breed because you know why? I would produce all visual hypos. Everything would be double het rainbow and pied, which I haven't produced a rainbow pied yet, which would be great. And we'd get everything would be hurricane with some possible enchy in there as well. So I think this would be a great breeding. You know, whether we ever get them to go or not, whether she's big enough or not to do it, I don't know. She's kind of borderline. She bred for me before at this size. Not a huge litter, but it was good. The clutch was definitely viable. So we'll see what happens. I got them together. See if they do anything. I am dying to get this girl to give me a clutch of eggs. I don't know what I got to do. GHI Mojave het pied. I've been breeding her the same male who's a proven breeder. He's a good breeder. I know he's solid. He's a Orange Dream banana enchy yellow belly pied het hypo, and man, I don't know what's taking this girl so long. Why she is exhibiting behavior like she's gonna lay some eggs, but then every time I think she's gonna do that, you know, I'll get her to eat. But I don't think she's eaten for the last 2 weeks, so we could potentially get a clutch of eggs from her. This would be a really nice clutch if we do. Once again, I'd love to get this GHI Mojave with some Orange Dream and banana in the pied project. I think that would just be super cool. And let's keep our fingers crossed. I think this is my biggest ball python that I have in my collection. And I produced her in 19, so she's not that old. She's only 4 years old, 4.5 years old. She's already bred for me. She bred for me at 18 months, actually. She's a big girl. She is an Orange Dream, Ultra Mel, Het Cryptic. And she didn't go last year, but I mean, I would be shocked if this girl did not lay a clutch of eggs. She's laying so uncomfortably. I mean, ball pythons usually do not lay stretched out like this. And I still have a male with them because I just don't know what the ball python season's been so crazy. I'm afraid to take them out. And that male is a really impressive leopard blackhead ultra male. So I really want to get the leopard blackhead ultra male. leopard blackhead into this ultramel project with the orange dream. I'm not even worried about the cryptic because I don't think the male has any cryptic in it. I didn't buy him as a head cryptic or anything like that, so I'm not really concerned about that. I just want to see leopard blackhead orange dream ultramel, and this is the breeding that's going to supposedly make it happen. Once again, this girl looks like she's got 25 eggs in her. This could be a record. I mean, I don't know. Either she's got nothing in her, or she's just fat, which I don't think that's the case. The problem is she did eat last time we fed her, so I don't know. She's just a big girl, but usually when they have this, like when it starts bulging down by the vent, like here, you start getting big. That usually means the eggs are coming down. So, and once again, she's sitting very uncomfortably. So who knows? Sometimes snakes eat even before they're gonna lay. You know, it's a rarity, but it could happen. So remember, I have told you this before. There are no rules. When you think there are rules, they will be violated. Trust me. Look at that nice little red orange head from the orange dream. All right, we're doing a little bit of update on our carpet pythons. Upcoming breeding season. This is a female albino and caramel albino combined. Call this a Moonglow when we talk about carpet pythons. Been growing her up. I don't think she's going to be ready to breed this year. She'll probably need another year at least. But she's gotten really pretty. You can tell she has a lot more white in her than like a regular albino would. And now that she has her adult colors, she almost looks like a snow. And you're going to see, I'm going to show you a snow. She's actually whiter than a snow, but that makes sense because the caramel albino is kind of almost like a hypogene or hypomelanistic gene. It takes away melanin. And obviously albino takes away the darkness, but the caramel albino seems to just take away all color, you know, in a sense, almost like a hypomelanistic gene, like I said. So it dilutes some of the yellows too, and so you get a more white, a whitish looking carpet python. Still has yellows, but you know, a lot less than a normal albino would. Now this is our snow male, and you can see this is dramatically whiter. He is proven, so we bred him last year, and we produced a lot of snows with this guy. We bred him to his mama, the double het snow, and we produced a lot of snows, and unfortunately most of them died. I don't know why, they just didn't make it. They were smart not eating well, but we still have one or two left. And he will go back into the breeding rotation. I haven't decided who I'm breeding him to. We'll probably repeat the same breeding again. I don't know, like I said, we got a really nice clutch of eggs with a lot of very good, you know, fertility. I don't know why the babies didn't want to eat, but he did his job for sure. Now this is a straight albino, so as you can see, look, a lot more yellow in this snake than in the caramel albino I showed you, or the caramel albino, which is kind of redundant, but I guess we should just call it a caramel and not call it a caramel albino. So this is just the albino with possibly het for snow or het for axanthic, and we wouldn't know that unless we bred her out. I don't think she's gonna. She's a 19, but these carpets, like I said, they sometimes need to be 5 years old. She's 4, but I think she's gonna or she's 3.5. She's gonna need another year for sure. She's just starting to get knocked down some big prey items. These carpets will not put the size on until they're eating a medium rat, and she's just getting there. She's eating small rats now, and so I grow my carpets real slow. Not by choice. A lot of times they're bad eaters when they're babies, especially the albinos. They just you got to kind of like coddle them and give them really small prey items so they won't eat them. Here's another really, really nice albino. This is my first one I've ever produced. I told you, shown you many, many times this snake. This is Logan, stubborn eater. For 3.5 years, I had to assist feed this baby girl, and now she's definitely old enough to breed. She's kind of right on the cusp, and we'll see over the next couple weeks. I'm going to start feeding her every week, and we'll see what if she can do it. If not, she'll wait till next year. She's already like 6 years old, so, but she's developmentally probably 2 or 3 years behind because of her poor eating habits she had earlier in her life. Sweetheart of a snake, You know, never struck anything. That's why I kept her. She's just a beautiful, beautiful girl. All right, there's my my Moonglow, or potential Moonglow, in shed. So he's looking at a little gray, but he's got the least pattern of all my snows I've ever produced. Originally, I called him a snow when he was born because I wasn't sure, and I really think he's a Moonglow. Single copy Moonglow. So caramel, one copy, albino axanthic. He's definitely at least a snow, but I think there's a copy of caramel in there because his pattern is like really erased, way more than a snow would. I showed you the snow before. The snows are definitely have more pattern. He has very, very, very light pattern. And I think if we can get another copy of caramel into these Moonglows, we're going to see a full moon, and I'm going to finally produce my holy grail, which would be my white carpet python. So he might be the key. All right, there's my double het snow female. I've had her, she's a 2013, so she's 10 years old. Once she started breeding for me, she's given me a clutch of eggs. I think we've done almost 5 years. She only took 1 year off, and that was on her own volition. I put a male in with her, but she's a good eater. She gets herself up to size, and you know, she did take off. Not this past season. She went and she had a nice clutch of eggs. The one before that, so she might be slowing down. Maybe she's going to go every other year now. I'll put a male in with her. We'll see what, you know, if she wants to do something. If not, I'm not going to push her. If she wants to take another year off, she's earned it. She's given me a lot of clutches. She's healthy. She's really a pet because I've had her that long. She's one of my only snakes that actually has a name, Annie, after my grandma Annie. And so let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more on her. There she goes. She's beautiful. She's got a huge head, and one of my favorite carpet pythons. So we'll see. We'll see if she goes this year. But she gave me my first snow ever, so she's given me many snows since then, so I love her. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I gave you a little preview of the carpet python breeding project we have and what might be taking place here in the 2023-24 season. You got to see some other cool stuff, and you know, everything else I just might have thrown in as a little extra here and there. But at the end of the day, I wanted to give you guys something to take into the weekend, since this will be the last video until next week when I get back from the Mr. Olympia competition. And it's funny, I've been bumping into a lot of people in the gym, and they come up to me and they're like, "Oh, I love your videos." And I'm thinking they're talking about my bodybuilding videos, because, you know, we've been doing a lot of coverage for the Mr. Olympia competition. And they're like, no, you're Muscle Serpents University. I love your snakes. And so it's funny, a lot of people who work out do also love snakes, and it's kind of like they're both kind of fringe type hobbies. For some people, they're professions, but they seem to somehow mesh some way. I always either see very big, out of shape people in the reptile industry, or very fit people in the reptile industry. And you know what? Over the last 10 years, I've seen it evolve, and I've seen a lot of people that were out of shape get in some really good shape. So that's excellent, because we want to see you guys live a very healthy, long life. So don't neglect your health. If you are a little overweight, if you haven't been being quite as healthy and eating as healthy as you should be, feel free to reach out to me. I've had a lot of guys in the industry reach out, and I've given them a lot of help and some diet tips and stuff like that. So that's what I do. You know, we inform each other. We're all in this together, and if I can help anyone, please feel free to reach out. All right, guys, if you're loving what you're seeing, show us the love. Hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, hit that like button. I'll see you back next Monday.